All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim out here pushing this gospel and truth and sincerity to the best of their ability, given to them by Yahweh Bahashem Shai. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Shai, Lord willing, pop on in your houses. This is Brother Kwana Watt, come back at you, Lord will, with the edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Shai. Lord will, it is edifying. Lord will, it is straight to the point. But yeah, man, so I was ultimately, I was scrolling on Facebook, man, and, I'd seen a few brothers ultimately post, something on this, man. Spirit didn't hit me to go into it at that moment. But then I was scrolling on Instagram, where I had seen it come up again, and the Spirit ultimately hopped on me. So I just, pressed the button, so to speak. But this is a screenshot right there taken from another beloved brother, man, from a different camp, as you see, Prophets in Babylon, right, which are, ultimately GMS affiliates, But it says, coming to the USA, it says China shames citizens who are on the blacklist of social credit system by displaying their faces, ID, addresses on government-run billboards in the town for all to see, right? And it says this also alerts who you may want to stay away from, lest your social credit score goes down, right? So this is, again, this is all part of Esau Edom's, right, NWO, man. His new world order that he's ultimately trying to establish, right, within the earth, right, within the whole earth, right, beginning with the elites of the nation Esau Edom, right. This is their agenda, right, that we're ultimately starting to, see, be fulfilled, right, around, certain countries, right, such as, China, which again, China is ultimately a model, right, in which the world is soon going to follow, right? You had Klaus Schwab from the World Economic Forum, ultimately state that, the rest of the nations should ultimately look at China as, a role model for how they should set up their society, right? And again, we're starting to see, the implementation of, these social credit scores and what is it, carbon emissions tracking, right, carbon emission points, right, and so on and so forth, which we were talking about, here in America, in New York. The Mayor Adams, I think is what his name was, or Governor Adams, whatever his title is, man. He was stating that, they should start tracking, right, people's carbon emissions, right, which again, 2 Corinthians 2:11, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. We understand why he's, having talks about tracking carbon emissions or social credit scores and so on and so forth. It's all part of Esau Edom's NWO, But also one of my initial thoughts when I had seen this, right, they're posting people's, faces, right, on these billboards and so on and so forth, right? This is also what Esau Edom, it's like I got a little man with me. This is also what's gonna, Esau Edom is ultimately gonna do, right, when it comes to those who are against society. As you see in the bottom, it says this also alerts you who you may want to stay away from, right, lest your social credit score goes down, right? Because these people ultimately, committed, quote unquote crime, right, against, Esau Edom society, or ultimately did something that Esau Edom, doesn't want, you to do. And so what do? Right? They ultimately post, your face, right, on these billboards, right? They post it in public, right, to ultimately warn people, say, hey, right, this is somebody who is against the society. This is somebody who's against this system, right? This is somebody you ultimately want to stay away from, right? And again, when dealing with the prophets, right, it's going to be, to the 10th power, right? Which means what? They're going to post your face on the news and billboards, as you see, like right here. And they're going to say, hey, if you see this person, right, this is ultimately, right, which we're labeled today, right, domestic terrorist, right? This is a person who's part of a hate group, and they ultimately want to bring down the society, right? Something to that degree, right? If you see this person, call local authorities, right? Which is, again, that's going to be, right, that persecution, which is prophesied to happen, you know. Matter of fact, let's grab that. This is St. Luke chapter 21 and verse 12. This is the words of Yahushua himself. It says, but before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. Right, man? Right? Because we're standing stiffly, right, for this truth, for this gospel, right? Which is again the truth, man. You know, we're standing for what is right, right? We're in a world where everything is completely wrong, right? This is a land of darkness, man, right? A land of confusion, a land of, you know, wickedness, right? Which is ultimately, you know, prophesied to be destroyed. Hey, but nonetheless, before this place can be destroyed, the Lord has sent his prophets out, right, to warn the masses of what is to come. And again, Esau Edom doesn't like that, right? Because it entails his system coming down, or it entails his system that he has set up, right, to be destroyed, right? And this is why he's going to here soon, right, round up, right, the true prophets, you know, of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and ultimately, you know, just as he did before, going back to, you know, time of you know, the Maccabees, right, with Eleazar, right, Mattathias, you know what I mean, the mother and her 7 children, right, ultimately trying to convince them to, you know, forsake Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and his laws, right, and to follow them, right? But again, we're going to continue to stand stiffly, right, for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? And again, that's going to lead to that persecution, because Esau Edom is, you know, in his new world order, right? The Israelites as a whole, right, including the prophets, are not involved in that, you know. So again, when he does come down, right, he's going to be, you know, rounding up, right, those who are against his society, man, and we are one of them that he's going to be rounding up, man. So we have to ultimately meditate on this that's to come, right? And at the same time, meditate, right, because there's a balance, right? Meditate on, you know, the fact that the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is going to be with us, you know, in the times to come, you know. So let me grab this. This is this is Revelations chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, and I'm going to read it in the NLT, right? It says, don't be afraid of what you are about to suffer, right, man? Because again, we know the persecution's coming, man. We understand and know that it's not going to be easy, right? It's going to be a test of our faith, man, right? When Jacob's trouble hits, man, that's when Esau Edom is going to round up, if not just before or during that time, Esau Edom is going to round up, right, those who are against this society, man, right? And some of us are going to be thrown into prisons, right, as we're about to read, right? And in that state, right, Esau Edom is going to try to do anything and everything that he can do to try to, you know, to ultimately get us to fold, man. You know, he might use our family. He might beat us within an inch of our life, right, and let us come back and do it again multiple times, you know. But again, we have to remain faithful, right? Remain, you know, 10 toes for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. You know, and this it says right here. It says, don't be afraid of what you are about to suffer. The devil will throw some of you into prison to test you, right? Because again, it's a test, right? Everything that we go through, even now, right? Even the little small things, you know, people saying certain things to us that might piss us off. It's a test, man, right? To see how we're going to act, how we're going to react to the situation that's at hand, man, right? And the only way to pass these tests, right, is to apply the scriptures, man. Right, to apply the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has allotted us to be able to, you know, get in this time, right? So that way we can be, you know, in the times that are to come, walking smooth criminal, as it says in Isaiah 33:6, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and the strength of salvation, man. You know, so this, again, it's this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that's going to allow us to move the way that we need to, right? The proper way in the times that are going to come, right? It says the devil shall throw some of you into prison to test you. You will suffer for 10 days, right, man? And we understand that number 10 is a number of completion, right? So it can be 2-3 weeks. It can be 2-3 months, right? It can be 2-3 days, you know? We don't necessarily know how long it's going to be. We understand that it's not going to be too long, but again, we don't understand how, you know, or we don't have the understanding of exactly how long it's going to be, right? Scriptures say we know in part, we prophesy in part, right? We understand that it's going to be some, you know, some type of length, right? And it's not going to be easy. But again, as long as we stay and remain faithful to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, what does it say? but if you remain faithful, even when facing death, right? Because some brothers, right, might be facing death, man. And some brothers might even be put to death, right? But as it says, Sirach 4 and 28, right? Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee, right? So some of us are going to be put to death, man. But as long as you would continue to remain faithful all the way up until that moment, right? And some, hey, then what does it say right here? It says, I will give you the crown of life, right, man? Because it's all about remaining faithful. It's all about, doing what we have to do, and going through what we have to go through in order to receive that prize, man. Yahweh Shem El Shah will always be with us, man. Even if it comes to death, right? Because as it says, let me, I think it's Psalms 106. Let me see. Psalms 106. I could be wrong. Hold on. Let me look it up. Psalms 116, Salakia, right? It says right here, right? It says, precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints, right? So, hey, at the end of the day, man, if you stand stiffly for the name of Yahweh Shem El Shai, and well, you're considered precious, right, in the sight of the Lord, man. Let's look up that word, right? Precious, right? It says valuable, right? Weighty, precious, rare, splendid, right? It says highly valued, precious stone or jewels, right, man? And are we not, likened unto the, those precious jewels, right? That Yahweh Shem El Shai is making up, right? Precious, costly, excellent, brightness, clear, right? Reputation, precious, rare, splendid, weighty, right? So, hey, guess what, man? Right? You have value, right? If you ultimately stand stiffly for the name of the Lord, right? And ultimately face death, man, head on, right? That's a beautiful thing, man. That's not anything light, man. I think I'm looking at a chariot right now, man. It's so far I can't necessarily see the definition. It's moving kind of fast though. It's moving fast, man. Hey, Kohalo Yahweh Shem El Shai, man. Like I said, I can't necessarily see all, 100% definition, but it's quick across the sky, man. Call Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai, man. Lord will, man. But nonetheless, man, so again, right, we have to remain faithful, right, and know, right, that Yahweh Shem El Shai's got our back, man, and in doing so, right, you will ultimately receive, right, or you'll ultimately be high value in the sight of the Lord, man. Now I want to grab this. This is it's in the Apocrypha, so I had to grab, something else. This is Second Esdras. Let's go down. Second Esdras 16 and start at verse 74. It says, "Hear, O ye my beloved." You say it the Lord. All right, hold on, man. It says, "Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord." It says, "Behold, the days of trouble are at hand." That's right, man. And the time of trouble is, ultimately around the corner, man. Right? This isn't something that, that is ultimately afar off, right? Scriptures say in Habakkuk 2 and verse 3 that the vision is yet for an appointed time. At the end it shall speak. And we're seeing, right, that prophecy of Revelations 13 and 16, right? Jeremiah 30 and 7, Revelations 3 and 10, ultimately speaking right now, man. Right? It's going to come to pass here soon, right? So again, we have to ultimately be prepared, right? Meditate on the things that are coming, right? And as well as meditate on, standing stiffly for the name of the Lord, right? And ultimately, doing so and receiving that prize at the end, It says, but I will deliver you from the same. That's right, man. So this day, the Lord's letting us know that He's going to be with us, man. He's going to be with us no matter what, right? Verse 75, "Be ye not afraid, neither doubt," right, man? We can't doubt, right? And if that doubt demon ultimately starts to creep up, man, hey, well, first thing you do, man, is, you pray to Yahweh Shem El Shai to get that demon off of you, and you fast, man. You prayer and fasting, right? scriptures talk about, right? The disciples ultimately tried to, cast out a demon, but they couldn't do it. Yahushua came up to them, right? And told them that, these demons, come not out but by prayer and fasting, right? So sometimes you gotta prayer and fast, right? And the duo is, immensely powerful, which is why we're supposed to be fasting, as often as possible and praying consistently multiple times a day, man, as much as possible, But it says right here, be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide, right? And you go into that word guide, right, in the blue letter, you go to the Strong's definition, man, and, ultimately goes into, it goes into to keep in safe custody, to keep in safe custody, right? So the Lord's ultimately going to protect us, man, and again, we have to know that, right? The Lord states it, and he's not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that he should repent, man. And when the Lord speaks the word, you best believe that he's going to be good on his word, man. Right? That's a check that'll never bounce. Right? And I'll read this last verse. I'll close it out. It says, "In the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua." Power, man. So again, right, the Lord's going to protect us, man. Right? Again, we have to know that. I'll finish this out and we'll close it out. It says, "Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves." That's right, man. So with that, Lord will is edifying. Lord will, straight to the point. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem, Rachak Wadash, that belongs to the elder apostles, the elder bishops of the Great Millstone. Till next time, I say shalom.